morning and welcome back to the vlog. This is the earliest I've gotten off the ship in CocoCay ever, I think. It's 8 a.m. right when the gangway opens. And this morning I'm going to do something I've thought about doing for a long time. I had such a good morning. I have wanted to do yoga in the morning on CocoCay forever. Always thought like, oh, wouldn't it be amazing if, but then I just thought like CocoCay is always pretty busy. It's not the serene sort of beach environment that you would go to do yoga. But last night I had the idea to get off right when the gangway opened. Luckily, I was able to find a spot far out past South Beach. There was definitely people walking by, but it was still calm enough, and the sound of the ocean, like just doing yoga by the ocean, it's just a different kind of experience. I'm definitely gonna try and do that again. I did get sand everywhere. Maybe I'll bring a yoga mat next time because the towel was a bit slippery, but overall 10 out of 10 experience. Anyways, welcome back to the vlog. My name's Brianna if you're new here, and I'm currently a professional figure skater who works on a cruise ship. The other day I was on video call with Leo and we were talking about like the gray ship sheets that they offer you. Some people buy their own sheets, but I really can't justify it, especially for a short contract like this. Like I only have like a month and a half left, so can't be justified. And he mentioned that it kind of looks like prison-like. Now I can't unsee it, and that got me thinking that I need to decorate. Now that I've settled in a bit into my routine here on Liberty, I need to put up my photos and lights. I've got my pictures. I brought some new lights from home because the other ones died. They're just like battery operated fairy lights, and I've got my really small magnets. I don't know, can you see? For Instax photos. I did print some new ones before I came because I didn't bring the Instax printer, but like I printed some new photos. It's great with the Instax printer because you can print photos from like your camera roll. So I'm gonna put these up now. It's a little change, but it's definitely giving a little less prison. On my walk back from CocoCay this morning, I was listening to a brilliant Mel Robbins podcast. It was so informational, sort of inspiring also. It's all about mindset. And she had, who was it? She had Dr. Aaliyah Crum, who is a Stanford professor and leading psychology and mindset researcher, on the podcast. It was about how powerful your mindset can be to change, your reality. How mindset is just the settings of your mind, and how you can change those settings to improve how you think about things and upgrade your life in so many different ways. And it really got me thinking how one mindset change that's helped me stay consistent and get closer to achieving my goals is choosing progress over perfection. For a long time, I would really skip things if I couldn't do them perfectly, like workouts, filming, and even passing on opportunities. And honestly, learning how to break that cycle of perfectionism isn't something that happened overnight. I would like to thank today's paid partner, BetterHelp, because what really helped me become aware of and shift that mindset is therapy. I started therapy over 10 years ago to help me with the pressure of competitive figure skating. Being in that high pressure environment is what really shaped my perfectionism, and therapy helped me understand myself instead of being controlled by it. Through that, I've learned that therapy isn't a quick fix. It's not like one big breakthrough moment and everything changes. It's a habit. And just like any habit, the growth compounds over time. So if you're heading into this year on the go like I am, BetterHelp makes it easier to keep therapy consistent. You fill out a questionnaire and they match you with a credentialized therapist based on your preferences. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time at no extra cost. You can click the link in the description below or go to betterhelp.com/BriannaMarie to get 10% off your first month. As you know, Liberty got off to a little bit of a rocky start, and since I started the contract on literally January 1st, it didn't give me time to sit down, reflect on last year, and think about what my goals are for next year. So now that I'm getting settled in on Liberty and I kind of know what my next year is going to look like, I really want to lock in on my 2026 goals, because I think the only time that's too late to work on your goals was yesterday. If I start today, I'll already be one step ahead. It's quite a bit later now. I had to take a brief intermission of the vlog. I really wanted to focus on the show today because I was out for 2 show days, going back in today because I had some bruised ribs. So I really wanted to focus on the show today. I'm here in Studio B now to cool down. I've not been so great at cooling down this contract. I've been in the habit of just wanting to go eat dinner, shower, and get to bed. But it's time to change that. I turned 30 a few months ago. I didn't advertise it on the vlog. I had a good birthday and I wasn't too stressed about it. It's just an age, but it is one of those ages that makes you think a lot and reflect. And my body is definitely not 22 anymore, so I'm gonna make a habit of cooling down. I just know that when I cool down, I feel much, much better. Knowing what I have in store for this year, I need to make sure that my body is at the best it can be. I have a big year ahead of me. On April 18th, I go home for 2 weeks at the end of this contract, and then I'm off to the next ship until January 2027. So I pretty much know what the rest of my year is gonna look like, and that's basically being on ships and performing. So my body's gotta be at its prime. Also, someone just commented on my previous video saying, are we allowed to guess? Of course you're allowed to guess. And I'm actually kind of curious to see what you think my next contract will be. So let me know in the comments below, and I'm curious if anyone will guess correctly. I didn't bring my massage gun to my last contract, and I don't know how I did that. It truly makes such a big difference, especially in my IT bands. So I may have given you guys a bit of an insight of what my year is going to look like and a couple of my little habits and routines that I want to take into 2026, but it's getting late and tomorrow's a big day for me. So I'm going to wind down. I'll tell you about my bigger goals at some point. Good morning. It is 9 a.m. Today will be a busy but unusual embarkation day. Embarkation day is when the guests from the previous cruise leave the ship and the new guests for the next cruise come on. These guests that are coming on for a very special cruise. It's a charter cruise, which I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure the guests buy the cruise through this organization. The guests that are here coming to cruise on board are only here for this special charter cruise. This cruise will be the Rock Legends cruise. This will be my uniform for this cruise. Here's some of the artists that are coming. But basically, the guests that are here are only here on board to see these rock legends. And even though it's embarkation day, we actually don't have any shows tonight. And we don't have any shows for this entire cruise. The guests aren't coming on board to see us. They're coming on board to see the rock legends. But besides that, it still will be a fairly busy day for me. We are starting off the day with a drill this morning. And the only time that drill ever happens on embarkation day, I think, is when we have Coast Guard, because we have US Coast Guard this morning. Coast Guard will come on board, we'll do a drill for them, and they'll check to make sure that the ship is safe for sailing and that people know their emergency duties. It is a little nerve-wracking actually, because they do go around and ask questions to some crew members, so you got to make sure that you know your emergency duties well. So I'm going to read up on my safety Q&A before drill, because I don't want to be the reason that the ship fails Coast Guard. After our drill, I'll go straight into muster. Then we have a meeting for the charter cruise, because we'll be working doors, so just kind of like controlling traffic and the lineup at the doors for certain performances. But that will be the extent of my duties this cruise, I think. Just doors. I don't think I'll get to check in with you again since it will be fairly busy, but I'll put in some clips of the day. And we are allowed to go watch the performances, so hopefully I will get to see a musical performance tonight. Ready? Your hair looks really cute. Thank you. I think this is the vlog. If you want it to. Yes. You look super safe. Ready for anything. Never looks better. Help me, I'm stuck.
Are you okay? Yeah, you know, safety first. Thank you.
Within the sound of silence. My song Sound of Silence climbed the charts. It was 98, and the next week it was 61, and then it was 19. Then it jumped to 5, and I called Paul Simon in London. Paul, you gotta come home now. We got something you must relate to.
through, I am a morning workout person, and I don't think anyone can convince me otherwise. Morning workouts just set my day off way better. I'm able to achieve more throughout the day, and it's not like looming over me that I haven't done my workout yet and I need to like plan my shower and my like putting on makeup around that. So morning workouts just superior. Today we're supposed to dock in Turks and Caicos. However, the weather was not good enough for us to dock, so it is an unplanned sea day. I only have to work doors tonight, so the rest of my day is pretty free for editing. I have been editing this video throughout the filming process, which seems to work well for me. And on that note, I have been wanting to talk to you guys about something because, as you know, I have picked up the pace with my videos recently. I'm actually all up to date with my filming and editing and very proud of myself for that. I get so much joy and fulfillment out of creating these videos, like the art of it. I want to keep getting better. I've been so hard on myself just to make the best possible end product that I can. And sometimes like I put way too much stress on myself because at the end of the day, I'm not making like Oscar nominated movies. There's just some details that I don't need to be stressing over so much, because even if I watched the video 2 months from now, I probably wouldn't notice. If I leave my editing for a day, I come back the next day and I watch that part, I'm like, oh, this is great. But the night before I'm like, this is horrible, it's not working. Also because I have such a big, exciting year ahead of me, I really want to get into the routine of filming, editing, uploading each week right now, since our itinerary is like pretty repetitive. In about a month and a week, we'll be doing our transatlantic crossing and stopping in some ports that I've never been to before. So I want to be able to capture and be on top of my editing, because I have such a big, exciting year ahead and I want to capture and document it all. But I think if I'm being honest about how much stress I put on myself sometimes to make good videos, then maybe you can see the progress that happens throughout the year. You know, like I talked about progress over perfection. I recently saw like a photo on Pinterest. It was like a quote. It was like, you don't learn how to swim by reading about it. That really hit deep. I'm someone that really overthinks things sometimes. So if I'm really choosing progress over perfection and kind of growing throughout the year, I think by the end of the year, it will be an easy process for me. But I have to work through that discomfort now to get there. Not everything has to be perfect along the way. So yeah, thank you for coming to my TED Talk about perfectionism. I really just want to solidify my routine now so that when the year gets busier and there'll be so much for me to document and show, that I'm in this routine and then I can find balance in my life. Honestly, it's been a little difficult for me to find balance lately with speeding up the process of my videos. I desperately need to do my laundry, and also I could do for like a cabin clean and tidy. So that is the plan after editing this video. So now we've cleared the air on that.
You came up here, but the only part you know is...
I'm nervous.
I'm Gene. So you don't know the lyrics?
Yeah.
That's the chorus. That's the chorus.
That's all I know.
It's 10:30 p.m. After doing doors, I went to dinner and then I fell into an editing trance. I still haven't taken off my Rock Legends crew t-shirt, and actually I got to see some of Gene Simmons' performance, which is so cool. This whole cruise has been like really unique. To see Art Garfunkel and Gene Simmons perform in person is actually pretty wild. I'm not a huge rock music fan, but I know their music. So that was pretty cool. So now we're gonna wind down. We're gonna wind down for the night, and the first thing that must be done for the nightly wind down is shutting off the big light. I should have done it like an hour ago actually, because it interferes with your sleep. And usually I don't like to have screens before bed, but I really wanted to get that done. Aside from morning workouts, my wind down routine is like my favorite part of the day, and it prevents me from being more social than I should be sometimes, but I like what I like, and I hate to admit it, but I think I'd much rather be in my bed cozy reading my book than at back deck partying. But I definitely need to be more social, maybe next cruise. Anyway, the first thing we must do for the wind down routine is shut off the big light, because I should have done that a while ago. Let's get ready for bed. It's now my favorite time of the night when I get to read my book. I have been reading Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, and I'm quite enjoying it. I've read a few Emily Henry books in the past, but this one's been my favorite so far. I hope you enjoyed coming along for a different kind of cruise. Good night, and I will see you in the next one.